we are in LA. It's WrestleMania week. I'm with Drew McIntyre, Sheamus. Big match on Sunday at SoFi versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title. Before we get going, check the ego, check the animosity at the door. This is about helping each other against probably the greatest Intercontinental champion of the modern age. So agreed, save the fighting for Sunday. Sheamus. Oh,
I was practicing for Sunday.
So,
you said take it out on you.
that is true. Sheamus, Celtic Warrior workouts, massive, massive success on YouTube. Today we're going to put you in the role of your guest, right? So you're going to talk us through a bit of arms, what you do, how you do it, and your mindset going into these weeks, these fights. You know, you've had countless fights across your career, massive success. So do you want to get us going on how you'd normally get these workouts underway?
So with Mania on Sunday, what's going to happen is, like, obviously you obviously don't want to go into Mania like pulling at, like, any issues, any injuries. You know what I mean? You have to train smarter, not harder. Well, you have to train hard as well, but not, you know, like, obviously the times of lifting heavy weights, that's a build-up, but you want to make sure you go in there injury-free, in your best shape you possibly can. Today is arm day for me, so it just falls on today, so I'm going to do a bit of arms. With Celtic Warrior workouts, normally what the scenario is, and for everybody who's subscribed to Celtic Warrior workouts, thank you very much. I really appreciate the love and support. We're running towards 1 million subscribers at this stage, which is phenomenal. But normally I go in there and I do other people's workouts. Rob McIntyre has been my trainer for like the last probably 10 years. Actually, maybe more actually, since I think 2009. So he's been my trainer for the last 14 years. Drew's the same. Drew uses Rob as well.
Family of 9, distant McIntyre.
I'm going to do an arm workout that Rob McIntyre basically put together for me in preparation for WrestleMania.
Where does Gunther rank in the list of Intercontinental champions? Is he up there as the greatest?
I'll say yeah when I beat him on Sunday. Because I'll have beaten one of the greatest Intercontinental champs of all time. Yeah?
What do you reckon, Drew?
I mean, he's restored the prestige to it. He's been on the run of a lifetime. The IC title's been featured more prominently than it's been featured in, I'd say, a couple of decades. You could put that match on last, and that would be a solid main event, and you couldn't see that for many years when it comes to the IC title.
Sheamus, you've been in the ring with Gunther. Clash at the Castle.
I put him on the map, fella.
You did put him on the map. Clash at the Castle was unreal in terms of the actual spectacle, you two being in there. 6 months on from that match, have you watched it back? Why not?
I lived it, mate. Sometimes when you live something, you don't need to go back and watch it. Like, I know what it was like. I heard the crowd. I know how physical it was. And there's no need for me to go back and watch it. For 15 years, I've been chasing a goal, chasing, you know, a dream. And that IC title is the last thing that I need to fulfill that goal. And here we are, a couple of days away from WrestleMania, from fulfilling that. That's where I am right now. Don't look in the past, man. I always look forward. And when I get that, you know, there's something else, but that's where I am,
see
right?
that reaction. Like, you can never anticipate how a crowd's going to react, but I watched that from backstage and saw the way the crowd reacted and won. And obviously where we were at the time, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy for my friend. Like, getting this kind of respect. He's finally getting his flowers. He was in a position where he'd spent years winning everything except the IC title, having all these great matches, but never really getting his just due from the fans. And you know, I'm sure he'll admit himself, he'll be like, man, I'm going to be one of those guys that retire, and then people are going to say, oh, Sheamus was pretty good. Yeah. But that was the night people went, Sheamus is pretty good. He does genuinely have banger after banger. But then I had to see that and go, man, I'm so happy for him. Wait a minute, I got to follow this match. And that show from top to bottom was awesome. And thankfully, Roman and I, you know, had a good match. Whatever happened to the finish happened at the finish. And
I know,
like, we had the story set going in. That's why I like this triple threat. It's like similar. Those guys went in kind of not cold, but they went in and just had this incredible match. They drew everybody in and had them on their feet by the end and applauding him after the fact. Like, Roman and I had the story and they were there at the beginning, and it was easy from the beginning on. And that's the thing about this triple threat, is from the beginning, I feel so confident with the story, how personal it is with us. We're gonna have the crowd right from the second we walk out, and then we'll give them a great match on top of that, and it's gonna be a WrestleMania classic, and I feel very confident about that.
When it gets to the ring, that's what when we're in there, it's about passion, about hard hitting. We make people step up or step out. That's what it is. Like, I've always done that. I've made a whole career, a massively successful career on being one of the most physical people in the ring. And not just once every bleeding 2 months when I come and go, every week. It's just who I am, man. I can't turn it off. I can't go in there and not be physical in there. I can't not wear my heart on my sleeve. I can't go in there and not give everything I possibly have, because that's not who I am. I don't go in and I can't show up with 50% or 75%. It has to be 100%. It has to be. I can't live with myself. I don't go in there and give everything I have. And at Clash of the Castle, Walter got the scare of his life. I mean, like, we had a match, me and Haggis had a match a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, #1 contendership, and we beat that each other. Like, that's just who we are. It's who I am. I don't care, brothers or no brothers, I don't give a shit. Like, he's standing across from me, like, I don't care. He better be ready to get his ass kicked, because I'm gonna kick the and he's probably gonna kick the shit out of me. But I know what I want, and I want that Intercontinental title, and I've waited 15 years to get to this moment. And nobody's gonna stand on my way for that. Nobody. Not Gunther, not him, nobody. So as diplomatic as we are in this workout for BT Sport or whatever you want me to do, it's a dot on my calendar. I have to be here, 8 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? I'll do this workout. Doesn't change the animosity I have for him for trying to turn up and stab me in the back and take that moment away from me. Either way, fella, we are where we are. That's it. Brothers, friends, I don't give a shit. On Sunday, if you're in my way, I'm just gonna kick your head off.
I can
Let's bring it
accept that, understand that. So you did this, you brought this up, you brought this out.
Let's
Going back to the original question, like, you got to speak your truth, no matter if I agree or if anyone in the crowd agrees, it doesn't matter. You got to speak your truth, and the crowd can feel it when you're BSing them. I guess we're swearing today, them, since Sheamus is swearing left and right. But the crowd can feel it if you're not speaking your truth. If you go out, like I did it when I was younger, I'd go out and I'd say what's on the piece of paper that I was handed, and I'd try and read the lines, and it'd be fine. People would go, okay, he's fine. He's maybe playing wrestler, but when you start saying like your real truth, you start.
Here's the truth of it all, right? Here's the truth of it all, right? When you went to WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar, right? I sat there, I watched that, and I my heart, everything I was behind you 120% of the way. Everything you did against Brock, I wanted you to win that. I knew the struggles you went through. I knew what you went through when you went on the Indies and you went and you broke your back and you went and you made a name for yourself after that 3MB garbage that they threw at you. You turned it around and you made it, and you went out there and you showed who you really were. You went back to Scotland, you went on the Indies, crap pay. You know what I mean? Like, you went and you dug your heels in and you were like, I'm gonna show the world who Drew McIntyre is, or Drew Galloway is. Drew Galloway, who, as I know from the beginning, from when we were over at BCW and Irish Whip Wrestling, right? That's what you did. And I supported you every single step of the way when you went in there. And hang on a second. I supported you every step of the way, right? Every single step. I watched it in my gym. I sat down and watched your match with Brock in an empty arena in the Performance Center when there was no fans, right, in the pandemic. I watched it and I rooted for you. And when you won, I felt like I won. I won that match with you, because I knew, like, when you came over to Irish Whip, you slept on my couch, you slept at my house. I drove you around and everything I possibly could for. Same what happened at FCW, you didn't have a license. I taught you how to drive, I did everything I possibly could, right? Everything I could, because you were my brother, man. I didn't have a brother, I got 2 sisters, but you were my brother. Your ma, I love your ma, your dad, you know what I mean? The whole thing, right? You knew what this meant to me. You knew what this IC title meant to me, mate. You know how much I've been planning this, pushing for this moment. I was so close with Gunther, Clash of the Castle. The second time I was robbed on SmackDown, right, when he used that shillelagh against me, right? Remember that, right? I was so close, right? And you went out there and you declared to the world, right, that you were like, I want this IC title. But you knew where I was at, mate. I can even say it to my face. You went out there and you told, like, oh, I want Walter at WrestleMania for the IC title. But you knew where my heart was. You knew what my goal was. You knew how much I wanted this. And you still went behind that. You didn't even come to me and say, Sheamus, listen, here's the deal. This is what I want to do, right? But you knew where I was. I did everything for you, right? So, and here we are, right? Triple threat match at WrestleMania. You stuck your nose in. That's fair enough, right? I'm coming to terms with that, because that's what the match is. I'm not like, I've got over that. I've got over that part where, like, you stabbed me in the back. But the thing is, mate, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to take that title, because that's all I have left, mate. That's all I have left, right? Ultimate Grand Slam champ, right? You know it. I talked about it with the car rides, the 5-hour drives, and I drove, and you sat there in the passenger seat beside me. That's where we are, right? So on Sunday,
if you stand in my way, man, I'm gonna kick your bleeding head off because that's what I want more than anything. And for everything I've done for you, you got your match. That's fair enough, right? You're in there. But here's the thing, mate. I don't give a shit if you're my brother. I don't care about the last 20 years. All you gotta know is that if you're in my way, I will take you out.
Yeah, mate, you all right? Sheamus.
That was a bad idea, mate. Bad idea.
All right, mate.
Bad idea.
All right, you take your time here, buddy. He's not coming back. Drew. He's not coming back, mate. He's not happy. So, I'm sorry, brother. I know this wasn't what we had planned. I know this wasn't what he was told, but look.
Professionalism goes out the window. It's like I said, once he gets something in his head, he can't get it out. Goes to a 10, then a 12. And I guess he's under the impression he's freaking Thanos and he has to get all the Infinity Stones or his life is not complete. All right, we'll sell this Sunday.
All right, I'm sorry, dude.
We need a big finish for you now, I guess, if people are watching and Sheamus just effed off.
Well, we can carry on training, or you can get some practicing for Sunday.
All right, I've got an idea for a big finish. The Gunther and I are known for a certain something. You got a little taste of one earlier. How about a nice big practice chop?
If it'll make you happier.
Just for the big finish, that's what it's all about, you know. When we're on the microphone, we're in the ring, it's all about building that big finish. Like a movie. You need a beginning, get everyone's attention. We got him with that chop. A compelling middle, I guess him effing off is a compelling middle, and then big finish. Relax. 1. It's fine. See, that's why we took our shirts off. It doesn't make any noise.
We'll see everyone at SoFi on Sunday. Gunther's.
Big finish.